Good morning and welcome to the Standing Committee's meeting for Wednesday, March 30th, 2022. Council, all council meetings will be live streamed on the city website and the city's YouTube channel. Our first order of business is roll call. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Here.
Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross. Here. Mr. Kraus.
Here.
Mr. O'Connor.
Here.
Mrs. Kell Smith. Mrs. Strasburger.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle, Chair.
Here.
7 members present.
Our next order of business is public comment. I would like to remind all speakers that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which are or may be before city council, and profanity will not be permitted. Once you are called upon, please restate your name and your neighborhood for the record. You will be given 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Naomi Mullen.
Good morning. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. We, the people of Bon Air, have significant investment into our properties. We stand to lose significant value financially and quality of life reduction. The largest investment that the average American will make is their home. Our biggest assets are being threatened. This is why we, as a community, have expressed significant concern about the potential development of Bon Air School into anything other than a green space. The PPS needs to transfer Bon Air School to the city for $1. This will cut the losses of PPS and be reparation to our community. The Bon Air School building needs to be torn down and a green space should be created. Reparations are due. The Pennsylvania Constitution states, under political powers, that all power is inherent in the people and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness. Negligent infliction of emotional distress and blockbusting are being perpetrated by those who oppose our community. Real damages are occurring to the Bon Air community. I have no doubt that this controversy was a contributing factor to the demise of my husband. The PPS created this controversy against we, the property owners of Bon Air. My husband did his duty to promote the peace, safety, and happiness of the people he served. Will you, as elected public servants, do your duty to help the people of Bon Air? My husband was duty-bound his entire life. He completed his mission on earth well. He is now one of the watchers and helping in the spiritual realm. He is still a force with us. A neighbor wrote, I think one of the best ways we will honor him is to keep fighting for Bon Air and be kind to our neighbors. We will commit to that, I promise. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. Michael Mullen Memorial Green Space. Do your part. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller, Beltsuver and Oakland, New Orleans, Louisiana, Hanoi, Vietnam, Global Intelligence Society U.S. National Candidate for the Presidency in 2024. I've linked all Pittsburgh districts and all U.S. states via the National Intelligence Information Network, and so far 12 cities within 3 regions worldwide via the Global Intelligence and Information Network. This is Asian Intelligence Month, GIS sponsored, especially today, French connection to Vietnam, March 2022. I and the GIS are seeking a link with Hanoi, Vietnam. Today, the sources of information for my PC are the government of France, ministries of defense and states, not Wikipedia. Is France in NATO? France, être, NATO, oui, ou France n'est pas NATO, être, non, non. France, NATO, peut-être, et France n'est pas NATO, être, plus, non. What profanity that must be. A concern of council, many agenda items, legislative actions 2010 to 2022, preservation of sites and structures significant in the history of Pittsburgh. Fort Duquesne at the point, Fort Pitt after the French and Indian War, is one. There was once a significant military link between the French and early Euro-Americans, including in Pittsburgh. There is now an insignificant military link between France and the USA. The French President Charles de Gaulle wanted it that way when in 1966 he ordered NATO headquarters out of Paris, NATO US bases out of France, and NATO US military personnel out of France. De Gaulle, France must control the military defense of France, not the USA. French military must be under French military command, not US Americans. And France may but may not obey a US NATO command. Europe, not the USA, must control NATO. Gaullism rules in 2022, in spite of a 2009 entry into the NATO command. Fort Washington doesn't exist in France. NATO, its headquarters are now in Brussels. NATO US military bases in France, 0. US bases in Germany, 20. NATO US military personnel in France, 0. US military in Deutschland, more than 30,000. 2022, France controls the military defense of France with nukes, but not the USA. French military is only under the direct command of the French government. Then the French may, but they may not obey a US NATO order. And this affects us, it affects Pittsburgh.
Thank you. Our next registered speaker is Albert Andrew Garcia.
Hello, my name is Albert Garcia. I live in Carrick. I'm also the Senior Program Manager of Common Threads. I've had the opportunity to speak to some of you already, but I just wanted to come on today to introduce myself and Common Threads if you were unaware of the work that we do. So we are a nonprofit that provides nutrition and cooking education to under-resourced communities. We're all around the city, from partnering with the Boys and Girls Club at all 9 sites, to Family Resources, to Pittsburgh Public Schools, to Manchester Academic Charter School, Homewood Children's Village, Center of Life, Foundations of Hope, Brashear Associations, and City Parks even. And those are just to name a few of our current partners. And we also strategically partner with community allies. Some of those are the EAT Initiative with Chef Claudia Pierre, a newer nonprofit called the Chronic Disease Health Alliance, Royally Fit, and Grow Pittsburgh, also to name a few, who we partner with to have a joint effort in combating this fight against, one, childhood obesity, but also some of the concerns with food insecurity, nutrition insecurity here in the city of Pittsburgh. Just to kind of give you an idea of our outcomes and presence here in the city, we have already served over 5,900 snacks and meals to students and to families. We have over, almost 9,000 program hours with partners here in the city, and then also reaching about over 1,300 participants thus far for this school year. And so we are looking forward to the summer as well, where we'll serve hopefully about 1,200 students with the Pittsburgh Boost program summer camp, and then also about 8 other summer camps within that. And so, as I mentioned, just wanted to introduce ourselves, and I look forward to hopefully connecting with those of you who we haven't talked with yet, and see how we can continue to support your districts and then develop a new strategic partner with each of you, and also just seeing how we can grow the city and help combat some of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next registered speaker is Philip Bishop.
I have no comments. I'm just available for any questions you may have on item 22-088, zone change requests in the 9th Ward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. Is there anyone with us in chambers wishing to speak? Please come forward.
My name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live in the Hill District up at Katy Rivers Tires, up at the top of the hill, Bedford. I want to speak about the food insecurity in our neighborhood. But I also wanted to say that I live in KD Irvis, and there's a company that is bringing a lot of bread. Please, see, you know what? You should be fined every time you open your mouth when someone's speaking. And Mr. Wilson, the mayor backed you. I just knew that you would listen to the people, but you run your mouth. And then Miss Gross, you just favor her. She didn't even come to a meeting in the Hill about racism, and in the courier they had something that she said she didn't even come to the meeting. You already got her on panels or groups, and then you still favor her. She does enough talking. She's very educated. She needs to shut her mouth sometime, and I usually don't say shut up. Just shut your lips. Okay, I wanted to say this, that they're bringing bread. They say it's from Peter, and it's bread. And sometimes they got like 20 loaves in one big bag. That's unsanitary. And then the old people ain't eating all that bread. You're going to constipate them as much bread as you bring. Now, they do the bagels will be wrapped differently. So what I'm trying to say is all that gets thrown in our dumpster. Now, I told you that I cleaned up because the rats and raccoons are coming in the dumpster. I came down and told you that there was 2 baby raccoons, and I told you how the man said, and they were hugging each other. And he was saying how sad they look. Oh, yes, they did look sad. But what they doing up there where we live at? Big raccoons and rabbits. And rats. And I called down here one time because I came out and a rat was had been smashed in the middle of the street. It was a large rat. I cleaned up the neighborhood right where I live. I did all this around all the streets. I got no compensation, but I did it because the old people were in clear and present danger because of us. The woman told me that City Works has not come up there 12 years. I've been there 10 and they've never did it. You should see the street. It's all the trash and leaves and things. You take in Mr. O'Connor, which he's home babysitting, and that should not be permitted. Someone wanted to know why he had his baby up there giving a proclamation, and she worked with Children and Youth Service. She said, what was that about? Now you got Miss Strasburger bring her baby and sit with the baby in her lap while she's doing city business. But when my 5-year-old spoke, my grandchild that knows about city council, they said she shouldn't be here.
Thank you. Is there anyone else with us in chambers and online wishing to speak? Please identify yourself. Seeing none, that moves us to our standing committee's agenda, of which the first committee of the day is Finance and Law, which is chaired by myself. We have one deferred paper, Bill 168.
Bill 168, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Exponent, Inc. for professional engineering services in connection with claims and litigation for the Fern Hollow Bridge in an amount not to exceed $175,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. That moves us to our new papers, Bill 196.
Bill 196, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Core Business Technologies in the amount of $2,062.50 for integration with the CSS tax system.
Motion to approve.
Discussion, second.
Second, with discussion, Councilman Wilson?
Yeah, is the director, acting director Gula on the line?
I am. Good
Yes.
morning.
Morning.
Morning. Hi, Director. Just wanted to know how the rollout's going with the CSS tax system.
It's still progressing, but we've sort of slowed it down a little, mostly because we've encountered some issues with business tax that we don't want to end up affecting the real estate portal. And we want to make sure that whatever we're rolling out with real estate has really been tested and vetted before we implement it, to make sure that we have the easiest, transition possible, especially because that links to online portal, which would be available to the public. So with any kind of implementation, there's always issues, but we're trying to keep them as little as possible because we seem to have had more of them on the business tax side.
Okay, I was just starting off asking generally about the rollout. But are you speaking specifically to the bill? This bill is for 2,000 to do something with real estate? Can you explain that?
The bill that we're introducing is specifically for CORE, which is the cashiering system, which actually integrates into the tax system. So when they take tax payments at the window, those payments end up generating a data file that gets uploaded into the tax system. So that's specifically what this is to help pay for as part of the integration with business, which was already happened, and with real estate.
Okay. So this is this money will go to CORE. In terms of CSS tax system, how are we doing with it being able to integrate with payroll, tax collection, individual tax collection?
So all of the tax collection comes through either the cashier window or RTL, which is the lockbox scanning mechanism. So that's where the initial data and the payments are collected, except for earned income, which actually comes from Jordan. So we don't actually keep those files. They're kept with Jordan, seeing that they, collect the documentation and the payments, and then they're liable for holding on to that data. But we scan the documents on our end for the business taxes that we do collect, and then they upload directly then into the tax system.
Okay. Director, I'll be transparent. I was hearing that there was some issues with the tax collection in terms of how the system integrates and how it calculates and understands payroll tax. That's just one example. Do you have a strategy to remedy those issues?
Yeah, we do. Actually, we've been working with the vendor and coming up with solutions. So mostly the business tax section had been built out while we were all remote. And so I think there were some things that had been missed or maybe misinterpreted. And as a result, additionally, I don't think the users were necessarily able to test the way that they should have. And so there are some things that are missing and some wrong calculations, which are being vetted out. And there are solutions in order to remedy those as well.
Okay.
Does that answer? Does that help with the answer to your question?
Right. Some of the things I've heard is concerning to me, so I just want to make sure that I'll call and discuss this further, but I just want to make sure that there's a plan to remedy these issues. I know that some other cities have gone on their contract with this system and have exited, and that's what kind of prompted me to have some of these questions. So I'm going to keep on looking into this, and I'll contact you. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. That moves us, excuse me, on to our invoices. Need a motion to approve the invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll just quickly point out there is one invoice for 17,000 to National League of Cities. Given that we've been discussing how to approve those, that's actually allowable under our rules because it's a subscription. So that is allowable for us to approve it. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, invoices are approved. The motion to approve the P cards.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, P cards are approved. That moves us to Public Safety Services Committee, chaired by Councilman O'Connor. One deferred paper, Bill 32.
Bill 32, ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances, Title I, Administrative Article 3, Organizations, Chapter 116, Department of Public Safety by adding a new section 116.17, Regulation of Pedestrian Stops by the Officers of the Bureau of Police.
A motion to approve brief discussion.
Second.
Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. Public safety just requested a 2-week hold. I think director was out ill, so if the sponsor's okay with a 2-week hold, I'll make a motion to hold for 2 weeks.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill held for 2 weeks. That moves us to Public Works Committee chaired by Councilman Coghill. First supplemental paper, Bill 208.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
may I ask you please to read 208, 211, and 212 together?
Yes. Madam
Thank
Clerk.
you.
Bill 208, resolution further amending resolution number 647 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2021 Capital Budget and the 2021 CDBG Program, the 2021 through 2026 Capital Improvement Program by increasing Southside signals by $750,000. Bill number 211, resolution amending resolution number 344 entitled Resolution Providing for a Letter of Amendment to the agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the construction phase of the Southside Signals Project, providing for the payment of municipal incurred costs not to exceed $3,350,000, federally reimbursable to 100% with a municipal share of Commonwealth incurred of $0, to increase the budget authority for the construction phase to $4,090,640, an increase of $740,640. Bill number 212, resolution providing for an agreement for construction services with SET Inc. for the Southside Signals Project at a cost not to exceed $3,280,000.
Motion to approve.
Second, brief discussion, please.
Ross.
Yeah, thank you very much. Members, I want to thank you. I appreciate your support for moving these bills forward. I believe when the first allocation for funding for the Southside Signal Project came to council, I believe the only members remaining might be Councilman Burgess, Council President Smith, and myself. It's been a very long, laborious project, but it is about to launch. I believe Acting Director Lucas, are you here for this bill?
I am available for it, yes, if you have questions.
Yeah, so if I may just have quick interrogatory, I believe we are very close to awarding a contract if we have not already awarded a contract.
Sorry, can you repeat that question? I've got a little background noise here.
Sure, that's okay. I believe we are very close to awarding a contract and launching the project. Is that correct?
I believe so. I know I've approved some documents recently related to that.
Yes. So members, the project is very similar to the PennDOT project that's taking place on East Carson Street now. All of the improvements, I'm sorry, there's somebody at my door. I'll be right back. Well,
On in.
And just to add to that, that we need legislation approved in order to execute the contract. But it's
perfect, thank you. But this is very similar to the legislation the project taking place on East Carson. This is about restructuring all the intersections, creating bump outs to create safer sight lines, replacing all signals at Sarah, Jane, Mission, Arlington, and Amanda. There will be a new reconstructed intersection at 18th and Josephine, which will contain a traffic signal, which has been a sore spot with the community long before I even thought of running for council. So these bills permit the project to move forward. And I greatly appreciate the members' indulgence that we are finally going to launch this project. So thank you for your assistance and I appreciate your support.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All three bills receive an affirmative recommendation.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Our deferred paper is Bill 104.
Bill 104, resolution authorizing the mayor and director or acting director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure on behalf of the city and through the city's Department of Law to adopt certain settlement terms and enter into a settlement agreement with Norfolk Southern Railroad, Manchester Citizens Corporation, Northside Leadership Conference, and Rail Pollution Protection Pittsburgh in order to resolve claims arising from the application of the Norfolk Southern Railway Company for approval to reconstruct the crossing of the North Avenue Brighton Road Bridge docketed at the Public Utility Commission and from Northside Leadership Conference et al. Versus the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission's appeal docketed in the Commonwealth Court.
Motion to hold 3 weeks.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill be held 3 weeks. That takes us to Land Use and Economic Development Committee chaired by Councilman Wilson. First deferred paper is Bill 12.
Bill 12, ordinance amending and supplementing the city code at Title 6 Conduct Article 1, Regulated Rights and Actions by adding a new chapter 610 entitled Prohibition on the Use of Certain Bags and Checkout Bag Charge to permit the use of only certain bags by retail establishments at the point of sale or for a delivery, and establishing a charge payable by the customer to the establishment for the provision of other types of bags, all under certain terms and conditions.
Motion to hold 1 week.
Second.
Discussion, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill be held 1 week. Bill 65.
Bill 65, resolution amending resolution number 863 of 2018 entitled Adopting and Approving the 2019 Community Development Block Grant Program by transferring remaining funds from the James Street Step Reconstruction Project to the Northside Christian Health Center, $76,000, and traffic calming, $14,220.54.
Motion to hold 1 week.
Second.
Discussion, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill be held 1 week. Bill 88.
Bill 88, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title 9 zoning Article 1, Section 90203 zoning map by changing from R1AH residential single unit attached high density to LNC, local neighborhood commercial, a portion of one parcel in the Allegheny County block and lot system, the 9th Ward.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilwoman Gross?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge that we had the public hearing last week, and I just wanted members to be aware that this is part of a site that they're familiar with at the end of the Bloomfield Bridge. So while it's one small parcel, it's switching to LNC that allows the consolidation of the very large SureSave site to be all zoned LNC. And so we've had very, very lengthy community meetings for years about the site. And I just wanted to acknowledge that for the people in Bloomfield who've been so active around improvements, not just to this site, but also to the very dangerous large intersections there that are near the park. And there's been a lot of community energy and effort into those improvements. And so far, this is requested by the owner, Echo Realty. And so far, they've been very open to meeting with the community organizations and having public meetings. And we look further to more engagement as that site progresses.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. That takes us to Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management Committee chaired by Councilwoman Strasburger. One new paper, Bill 197.
Bill 197, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Innovation and Performance on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement and amendments thereto with Forrester Research, Inc. to provide IT consulting and research, as well as a wide variety of professional advisory and other services to modernize and elevate the work of city government at a cost not to exceed $453,764.38.
Motion to approve, brief discussion.
Discussion, Councilwoman?
Thank you. Really just wanted to give the opportunity for Director Norman to explain this bill and the ask here. But as I understand it, this is for IT consulting and research for the Department of Innovation Performance. It's a vendor partner contract to provide professional advisory and other services so the department can continue meeting its mission to elevate city government. Director, would you like to add some finer points to that?
Certainly, I'd be happy to. As council knows, INP acts as technical advisors and stewards for all of our sister departments in city government. And IT is an ever-evolving field, and it's very broad. When a department needs us to research particular types of technology that may be emerging, to look at who the vendors are in that particular area of IT that may be worth talking to. We rely on this type of research organization that keeps us up to date on everything that's going on. In addition, this organization will help us to formulate really good RFPs when it relates to technology. They also help us review contracts and proposals from various vendors, and they can be exceedingly helpful in terms of professional advice because they have experts in multiple fields within IT so that we are able to stay up to date and give the best advice that we can to all of the leaders in our sister departments.
Thank you, Director. I just wanted everyone to have an understanding of what this bill was for.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Councilman Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you, Director. I just want to ask a question about the research that goes into the products we buy. So this is providing research on the IT products that we would buy in the future. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, it can be on products that we might buy in the future, or for example, if something is coming up for renewal and a department or departments want to take a look at the current field of vendors and the products and services that they offer. Generally, these types of research organizations have analysts that go in and will rank and give further information on which types of vendors are offering which types of products and services. So let me give an example. If, for example, Department of Public Works wants routing software for their environmental services trucks, and they come to us, it's helpful for us to be able to turn to an organization such as this to ask them, what does the landscape look like in terms of routing software? Who are the major players? Who are the emergent players? What types of programs do they offer? How do the costs look? How do they tend to negotiate and structure contracts? That kind of information is highly specialized. And it's the type of thing that it's extremely helpful for us to be able to turn to those types of experts who really kind of focus on all of these different areas.
I know it was just an example, but what's routing software? Is that what you said?
Routing, yes, ROUTING. So that might, for example, tell trucks, environmental services trucks, which routes to take in order to most efficiently pick up garbage or pick up recyclables.
Okay. Earlier, I brought up the CSS tax system. Was there the same type of research that went into purchasing that system?
I'm not able to answer that question without looking into it further, but I'm happy to do so if you like.
Yeah, I'm just curious about.
This is for the CSS system?
Yeah, I'm curious about the context of this system. I think it was I'm not sure when it was purchased, but so I'm just looking into that and just wanted to know if there was the same type of research that went into purchasing that system.
I'll have to go back and look, and I will get back to you before end of the week. Is that okay?
That would be great. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. That takes us to Intergovernmental Affairs Committee, chaired by Councilwoman Gross. One deferred paper, Bill 180.
Bill 180, resolution adopting plan revision to the city of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the UPMC Presbyterian 3701 Fifth Avenue.
Motion to approve, brief discussion.
Second.
Last week I deferred to the councilwoman as this isn't my district and I haven't tracked the progress, and I think we held 1 week. So just defer to the councilwoman. Do you mind?
I mean, I can report there has been no change since last week. So I don't really have a strong opinion. It's a sewage facilities plan. I understand this is a huge project. But I also believe there'll be other opportunities for us to get information and get into weigh in on this plan. So
Mr. Chair, as you know, my preference is always to not permit the sewer facilities before there's an actual plan approved for a site, as plans can change substantially, and I feel that it's just out of sequence that would be responsible for granting from this body. So I'll suggest maybe just another 1 week hold, and maybe we can just do better fact finding on this, what the schedule is for the.
Second.
Discussion on the hold, Councilman Wilson.
This isn't about this bill. But I just want to ask, like, what's the future of sewage facility approvals with the Alcoasand plan? Just a general question that I'm kind of curious about, if we can get an answer from, it'd be just nice to know what the future is of, like, are we not going to see these in the future? Is there a new map that, because I think everything we approve these is we're approving them for the map, to like,
Great question.
to edit the map. So I'm just wondering, like, what's the future of these types of bills? So don't have to have that answer now.
Certainly don't have that answer.
Madam Clerk, can you ask Alcoasand to give us some clarification, or the law department maybe?
Yeah, we got to figure out who has to answer
Who do we even ask?
Any further discussion on the motion to hold? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill be held 1 week. That exhausts our agenda for today. We do have a number of meeting announcements. This evening at 6 p.m. at the Homewood YMCA at 7140 Bennett Street, there will be an in-person only public briefing by the Reapportionment Advisory Committee on the proposed reapportionment district maps. Speaker registration ends at 4 p.m. Tomorrow, Thursday, March 31st at 6 p.m. at the West End Active Healthy Living Center at 80 Wabash Street, council will hold a public hearing on the city's proposed annexation of Wilkinsburg. Speaker registration ends at 3 p.m. on Thursday. Next week, council will hold our regular and standing committee meetings on Tuesday, April 5th and Wednesday, April 6th, respectively. Speaker registration ends at 9 a.m. Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Also next week, on Tuesday, April 5th at 1:30 p.m., council will hold a cablecast public hearing on Bill 1707, an ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code to expand the boundaries of the inclusionary overlay district to Bloomfield and Polish Hill. Speaker registration ends at 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Anything from members? Council President?
I just want to thank Kate Weiland. She's leaving at the end of this week. She's been here for how long, Madam Clerk? 42 years.
Yeah, long
Can
time.
you imagine? So she won't allow us to give her a proclamation, but if ever someone deserved one, it would be Kate. I mean, she's put up with 9 members of council, all of our staff, the clerk's office, the budget office, everybody who orders anything on this side of the hall over the past 42 years. And some of us over those 42 years may not have been the nicest as we all are, but, but she's managed to put up with all of us and always walks around with a smile, and maybe she may cuss us out a little bit, but for the most part, she's been nothing but professional and amazing. And I just want to thank her for her service to the city of Pittsburgh and especially to city council.
Towards that end, I would just remind all council members and staff that the luncheon in honor of Kate is today at 2 o'clock.
We're allowed to have food and alcohol, no proclamation, she said.
Anything else from members? If not, we need a motion to, all members were here. Yeah, we need a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Abstention.